Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Duck TV Sports. I'm your host, Kylie Gelfand.
And I'm Michael Strang.
After a week of snowball fights and building snowmen, we've kept up with all things Oregon athletics. So let's get started.
Oregon women's basketball has clinched sole possession of the Pac-12 regular season title for the second season in a row. Similar to last year, Oregon wrapped up first place down in Arizona. On Friday, the Ducks played Arizona and held only a 10-point lead after 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, Oregon didn't allow Arizona to score a single point, blowing them out 19-0 for an 83-54 victory. Oregon would end up the lone team atop the Pac-12 after a gritty win over Arizona State on Saturday. What's next for the Ducks? Well, they spend the next weekend in Las Vegas as the #1 seed in the Pac-12 conference tournament. If they reach the semifinal, possible revenge awaits against UCLA. And if they reach the final, Oregon could face a high-stakes rematch against Oregon State. Looking ahead to the NCAA tournament, Oregon is vying for a #1 seed and could play a rematch against Notre Dame and Mississippi State.
The Oregon men's basketball team began their last homestand of the season with an impressive 79-51 win over Arizona State. Lewis King made 7 of 12 shots for his 19 points, and Peyton Pritchard added 18 points on 6 of 10 shooting. But the real star of the game was freshman Francis Okoro, who left a mark on the court with a career high of 10 rebounds. Coming off a losing streak, the men's team needed a win to build some momentum for the postseason. On Saturday, the team celebrated their seniors Paul White and Ehab Amin with a 73-47 victory over University of Arizona. Lewis King scored 14 points to lead 4 players in double figures, 3 of them being freshmen, and this keeps Oregon in the running for a first-round Pac-12 tournament bye. Up next, the Ducks will travel to Washington to face the Washington State Cougars on Wednesday.
Oregon softball returns to Jane Sanders Stadium this weekend. For Duck fans, it may feel as if the season is just getting started, yet 4 consecutive weekend tournaments mean the Ducks have already played 18 games. At last week's Judy Garman Classic, Oregon lost by just 1 run to a top 5 Florida squad and Cal State Fullerton before losing 8-0 to Auburn. So far this season, Oregon softball has been a tale of 2 pitchers. The sensational Jordan Dolly has a 2.35 ERA this year, and Oregon is 9-2 in games that she starts, outscoring opponents 66-34. Outside of her starts, Oregon is just 2-5. Expect to see plenty of Dolly when the Ducks open up Jane Sanders this weekend against Oklahoma State.
4 former Ducks headed to Indianapolis this weekend for the annual NFL Scouting Combine for an opportunity to showcase their talent to the league coaches. Reporter Rachel Friend went to find out how much people know about current and prospective Ducks in the NFL.
Halfway across the country, the annual NFL Scouting Combine is underway, and 4 former Ducks have been invited to the event. We're interested in hearing from the Eugene community about what they hope to see from future Oregon prospects and current NFL players this upcoming season. Can you name any Ducks heading into the NFL Combine this week?
Jalen Jelks, Ugo Amadi, Dylan Mitchell.
Bobo.
I believe there's 4 Duck players. Ugo,
Dylan Mitchell.
Justin Hollins.
Unfortunately, the answer is no.
Same for me as well.
Nope.
No.
Do you have a favorite former Duck player in the NFL? And if so, why?
Mariota.
Yeah, me too.
Why is he your favorite?
He's the best.
It's got to be Marcus Mariota. Okay, that's easy. Marcus Mariota.
I'll say Mariota because he won the only Heisman for the Ducks.
Definitely Marcus.
Definitely Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota, because he's the only one that I'm 100% sure is in the NFL.
Do you have an opinion on how you think the 4 Ducks will perform in the Combine this week?
They all had pretty good years playing, so I think they're all going to do pretty good and improve their draft stock just like they have been the whole year.
Honestly, just because they're Ducks, they're definitely going to be at the top of whatever they're doing.
I think Ugo will do pretty well because I know he won like an award.
I think they're going to do really well because this is a great university, and I've been to the rec, some good facilities.
Reporting for Duck TV Sports, I'm Rachel Friend.
Thanks, Rachel. We look forward to seeing what the Ducks are up to in the NFL this upcoming season. On Friday, the Oregon baseball team won the first game of the 3-game series against Loyola Marymount, 4-3. Left-handed pitcher Nico Teleshay was the star of the game as he retired all 4 hitters he faced to get the save in their first victory over LMU. Oregon led 4-1 headed into the 8th, but LMU rallied and scored 2 runs. Once Telashay entered the game, he pitched a 1-2-3 in the 9th inning, striking out the first 2 hitters to record his first career save. The second game of the series resulted in another win for Oregon. Shortstop Spencer Steer turned in the first 2-home-run game by an Oregon player since Sean Chase in 2014. And pitcher Cole Stringer threw 6.1 scoreless innings to help beat LMU 6-0. Sunday, the Ducks swept LMU 7-6 in the last game of the 3-game series.
The Eugene Generals are aiming to make an impact in the community, both on and off the ice. Reporter Carmela Karcher has the story.
The Eugene Generals aren't just any Tier 3 junior hockey team. They are a team that understands the value of giving back to the community. For the past 8 years, the Eugene Generals host a Try Hockey for Free Day at the Rink Exchange. Players, coaches, and staff all gather together and volunteer their time to help young kids from across Lane County learn the sport that they have dedicated their lives to, all without paying a dime.
Actually, it's a nationwide event, so it takes place in every rink, well, in many rinks across the country, and the whole idea of it is to try and get kids introduced to the game with a really low barrier to entry.
Most kids start the day struggling to stay up on the ice, but with the help of the Generals and enough encouragement, many start skating around the rink like pros, looking up to the team, only hoping they can just be like them in the future. Not only does this event help kids learn the basic skills of the sport, it also makes a bigger impact, building a better image of hockey.
So as much as it was for kids today, it is for parents to see that hockey isn't the sport they imagined it to be, right? It's not rough anymore, it's not violent anymore, and in fact it's very finesse oriented, and it's a lot of skill. And it's a really healthy way to do things.
The kids aren't the only ones smiling brightly when they skate off the ice. The Generals can't help but feel the impact it makes on them as well.
Until you've had hockey become part of your life, and until you've had the chance to pass that on to somebody else, it's really hard to describe how that makes you feel. A lot of our kids, the Generals players that were out here today, this was their first event, and they had just as big of smiles on their faces as the kids that they were teaching to skate today.
For Duck TV Sports, I'm Carmela Karcher.
Thanks, Carmela. To learn more about the Eugene Generals, check out their website. That's everything from this week, but if you want to keep up with Oregon women's basketball's quest to win another Pac-12 tournament title, give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram because Duck TV Sports will be covering the event in Las Vegas. Have a great night, Eugene.